All right, who takes more pride in the running game than Bret Bielema at Arkansas? And we saw the two road graders that he had to utilize the last 3 to 4 seasons at Arkansas with, of course, Alex Collins and Jonathan Williams. We bring in Chad Neipling, who shares some time with us here at SEC Breakdown and also does some excellent work at Gridiron Now. Chad, let's talk about these two running backs before we move ahead to 2016 because they deserve a little love here. Both fifth-round NFL draft choices. Alex Collins, 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns this past season, ran for 36 touchdowns in his career. Didn't get a chance to see Jonathan Williams this last year much. Obviously missed the entire season with injury, but he was going step for step. Those guys knocking out 900-yard, 1,000-yard seasons. They came in at pretty much the same time. Williams a step ahead. But your thoughts about two guys that basically we could almost say got Bret Bielema into a good position with his program when there were talent deficiencies all over the place, especially on defense. These were two guys that he could trust when he stepped on campus.
Yeah, I think the biggest coup for Bret Bielema coming in his first year back in 2013, going into that 2013 season was, going in and getting a kid out of Florida, South Florida, and Alex Collins. Of course, everybody remembers the drama with his mother running off with the letter of intent. And, of course, his biological father comes in and helps make that signature happen. And Bret Bielema pulls out one of the better running backs out of the state of Florida, a 4-star running back. AC was shifty, didn't play a lot of football early on in his life, so he was still pretty he's been a very durable back if you've looked at him over the years. Like you said, last year running over for 1,500-plus yards. Joins some Herschel Walker and Darren McFadden as one of 3 backs that have only ran for 1,000 yards in their first 3 years. And so that's pretty elite company. You turn around and Alex Collins holds several records now with the University of Arkansas at the running position. So it's only going to continue under Bret Bielema as you look forward. Jonathan Williams, with the foot injury and having to rehab that was a heartbreaker going into last season, the 2015 season, because I think a lot of fans were really expecting to see something just unreal and explosive with the combination of him and Kody Walker and Alex Collins in that backfield. Personally, I was hoping I would see the remake of the 2010 Wisconsin run attack here in the SEC and seeing almost 3 1,000-yard rushers. And I think if Jonathan Williams would have been in the picture, that possibly could have happened because you had such a dynamic of, I wouldn't want to necessarily call it thunder and lightning with Jonathan Williams and AC because they both brought different things to the table and they both were very physical when it came to going between the tackles. But, Williams, whenever he would get out there, it was bumbling, stumbling, and you better hope to goodness you didn't get in his way because he was going to crush you in the pack, as he was running through. Alex Collins, very, very shifty runner. Just love to watch him run, and especially when he got into the hole, just when you thought things were about to collapse, man, Twinkle Toes would just put on a show and bounce it out to the outside and pick up a couple more yards. Neither one of those guys were like the fast-paced, high-end speed that we saw, say, at Darren McFadden here at Arkansas years ago. But they definitely had the ability to make some big plays. Looking at that, multiple 1,000-yard rushers, both of those guys, that's something that Bielema has hung his hat on since he's been here. Despite the 3-9 season, his first season, you still had multiple guys running. Even Alex Collins, again, running for 1,000 yards his freshman year. Pretty impressive, and they'll continue to do that. Even though this is what we would consider a down year or a rebuilding year, the run game, despite the injuries that we've seen out of potential 2 starters and the fact that we've got an incoming freshman coming in, 4-star Devwah Whaley, I think you will see a very productive run game that will get 1,000-yard rushers once again. Again, top 5 rushing attack in the conference for the last couple of years. Going back to 2013, it was a top 3, despite going 3-9 in the SEC and as a total conference or as a total record that year. So I feel like, with respect to what we've seen out of Alex Collins and Jonathan Williams, that's just the beginning, I feel like, because as Bielema stays in the SEC, he's going to continue to get SEC quality running backs, and that's going to be huge as we go forward with his career here at Arkansas.
So for the past 4 years, we've known it's going to be Collins and Williams in the backfield. We didn't know exactly who was going to start, but it didn't matter. They basically shared carries. If you look at the stats and the game logs in the important games, it was pretty much split down the middle depending on the opponent. But now we've got a situation where we've got a number of talented guys that have certain experience levels on the field. But with Kody Walker, with Rawleigh Williams, they showed us spurts when they got the opportunity when Collins gave up some carries. So for Williams, Rawleigh Williams, it was against Tennessee. He hit up the balls for 100 yards with Kody Walker. You mentioned Walker. He got into the LSU game, hit them up for 88 yards. So these guys have shown that they can compete at this level and be successful.
Yeah, they have, and I think that's the key. Rawleigh Williams, had he not suffered the neck injury against against Auburn, I definitely think he would have been on his way to potentially getting some yardage. But Alex Collins had just taken, it was the Alex Collins show last year, and I think that a lot of that was due to the fact that Bret Bielema felt like he had to get this guy that he brought in as a freshman. He had to get him showcased to get a nice draft pick, with him. I think that was kind of critical for recruiting going forward. And that being said, Williams still rushed for 254 yards up until that game. He possibly would have seen a lot more action coming off of that, because you turn around and you looked at Tennessee, Martin, Mississippi, LSU, Mississippi State, Missouri, and of course then you had the Liberty Bowl against Kansas State. Rawleigh would have been a bigger factor as the season went along as a true freshman, I believe. And I still think he will. You talk about Kody Walker, 6-year player. He got the medical red shirt. He's been injured a lot throughout his career while at Arkansas. Big guy out of Missouri, 6'2", 250. Once he gets a head of steam on him, watch out, man. This guy is a physical bruiser, Mark, at the point of contact. Has no problem mowing you over. Still has the ability to break free with a 4.5 40 and bust up field and get some yardage. The key is can the offensive line get a big enough push for him to get a start? He's such a big guy. Those first couple steps are crucial for him in order to get that explosiveness that we need to see for him to get some yardage ahead. And so I think that it's going to be key with this offensive line going forward that, even bringing in Drake Rawleigh, that was the Texas graduate transfer, you still have two positions potentially on the field that are going to have a little bit of inexperience. And I think that's going to be a big key for this rushing attack as we go forward. So it'd be good to keep an eye on them. I think those two guys, again, coming off injury, how they respond this fall, knowing that they're going to be the prime ball carriers and how they perform, that's going to be key. Don't forget about Jawan Day, who's put his time in, North Little Rock 4-star running back. And then you've got TJ Hammonds, who's a 4-star athlete out of the Little Rock area, who is also going to have his opportunity to get some time to carry the ball too.
Chad Neipling joins us from Gridiron Now, and also we've got our venture together with SEC Breakdown. So join us on Twitter there, and we provide a ton of great content along with David Waters and Mike Laval. Okay, we mentioned all that talent. You mentioned a couple guys in Walker and Williams that actually proved something against quality SEC foes, and we haven't even talked about the guy that Arkansas fans really want to see on the field, and that's Devwah Whaley, a top 5 running back, 5-star guy. This guy has all the tools.
Yeah, Devwah is a guy. I've written some articles on him on Gridiron Now, and I think he's going to be a very critical part of this offense coming into this fall. Him and another guy that's incoming freshman, McTelvin Agim, who's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I think those two guys as incoming freshmen are probably going to have the biggest impact on this Arkansas football team. Devwah coming out of Beaumont, Texas there, a guy that has shown at the Under Armour game that he was capable of playing with elite talent. Also in the state of Texas, was one of the better running backs coming out. There was Kyle Porter, which was another guy that Arkansas was in the running for, the top 2 running backs in the state of Texas, and Arkansas was able to go in and pull one out. And so Devwah, I think, originally being committed to Georgia, then Mark Richt, got let go there, and of course he takes the position at Miami. But after Mark Richt was let go, Devwah, it was in the running for Arkansas and Georgia. And so his family came up. Mary, his mother, came up, and they all loved it. Terry, his uncle, they loved Arkansas, and they loved Bret Bielema and the staff. And so they made that decision. And here he is showing up, and he's just ready to get started. This guy has bought in 100% to the Arkansas program. His family is bought into it. They're big fans of what the Razorbacks and Bret Bielema are doing right now. They see the potential that Devwah has. I think Devwah is going to be another freshman guy that puts up 1,000 yards, and he will be. And I'm saying this now, Mark, and you can hold me to it, put my feet to the fire. Everybody watching can do it too. This kid will be a freshman, all SEC freshman at the end of the season, I guarantee it. If he gets the carries that we think he's going to get, and we know how much of a big deal this run game is going to be with a brand new quarterback, Austin Allen, in the fact that Austin's not really a brand new guy, so to speak, but he's going to be this running game is going to be needed to really kind of help things out with that passing attack. I think Devwah is going to be the guy that really helps push this running attack to where it needs to be. He's going to be a great guy that has the ability. He's thick, he's small, he's fast, he's 6 foot, 205 pounds, coming out of high school. Again, an elite running back. And Mark, he's the highest recruited running back to date that Bret Bielema has recruited from Wisconsin to Arkansas. And so I think that this kid is going to – the sky's the limit for him. Bielema has even said that in meetings with us in the media rooms that the sky's the limit. He thinks he's going to be one of the more elite running backs in the country when it's all said and done.
And that, of course, includes one Melvin Gordon, a top 15 pick in the NFL draft, first round to the Chargers. And, Chad, we've done enough of these. I think you could see as you were talking about making that prediction for Whaley being first team all freshman SEC that I was kind of – I had that look on my face where I was scanning the league. I wanted to debate you on that, but I just can't pull the trigger on that because I think you're right on the money there.
Yeah, you're going to be hard-pressed to find another freshman, I think, that can pull it off. Because you look at Alabama, Bo Scarborough, no longer a freshman. He's going to be a big-time leader for them. You turn around Jalen Hurd at Tennessee, junior now. You got Kamara in with him as well. I mean, most of your running games, even Boo Williams, who's a sophomore at Kentucky now, you turn around and you look at Auburn. Auburn doesn't really, they went the JUCO route. They've got some guys that are already there. Thomas is there. Those guys are going to be looked at. You turn around and you look at Florida. Florida with Scarlett, maybe didn't do what they wanted him to do this last year, but they've got some talent there as well. So I think when you take around and you look at it at the running back position, if Devwah has the production that we think he can, then yeah, he should be an all-SEC freshman of the year. There's no doubt in my mind. And I do think he's quite capable of hitting that 1,000-yard mark in this style of system. I think it fits him with the speed that he has, Mark. He's very, very explosive. And once he gets on here and Herbert gets a hold of him, the strength coach, I guarantee he's going to probably put on at least another 20 pounds or so before the season starts. And that's going to be one big bruising back as a freshman.
All right, as you can hear, if you want to keep up with Arkansas football and really the entire SEC, join Chad on Twitter, catch his work on Gridiron Now, and the two of us, along with Mike LaValle, David Waters on SEC Breakdown. All right, Chad, breaking down Arkansas running backs. You did some serious work here. Thanks, man.
Well, thanks, Mark. Take care.